key, a universal key to many things.
Understandable. Creative. Effective.
Interesting. Learn the Ielts secrets with us.
Hello everyone! We are so happy that we are meeting with you via TV again, and today we have prepared very essential information and useful lesson for you to help you improve your reading skills. In order to help you to improve your reading skills, we have invited to our studio a very experienced IELTS instructor, Azbek. He has been teaching IELTS lessons for many years and he has taken 7.5 band score on the IELTS exam, and he will share you the key secrets of achieving a high band score on the IELTS exam. Dear learners, I should remind you to prepare your Cambridge official book number 11 because today we will do some practice tests from reading. If you want to learn more about it, please stay with us and continue watching. We are ready to start. Good part of the day, Azbek. Welcome to our studio. It's
Hello.
nice to see you here.
Thanks for having me.
Thank your visit too. Azbek, I think before starting our main conversation about improving reading skills, I should ask you to introduce yourself fully to our viewers.
Yeah, I'm Azbek Zubadullah. I'm from Bukhara and studied in Bukhara. You know, in Bukhara, we will study super hard and we will push ourselves hard in studying, cramming for exam, maybe not just cramming for many months, and it took me about 1 year to take that score, and the highest score in my IELTS is reading, and from reading, and that's 8.5, and that's a skill that I like very much because I've been reading English books and listening other books for many months, and whenever I read something, I try to understand it, not just going forward. And I think that's the thing that helped me much in getting that score.
Thank you. It will be better if you tell your IELTS band score according to skills.
No, the reading is 8.5, listening is currently 8, and maybe more than that. I have taken that exam twice, and the second score in listening was 8. And reading and writing and speaking were 6.5 at that time, but I've been working on my writing again because I have talent in writing too, and I'm going to take the exam again, I think, in this year.
You took IELTS exam twice, right?
Yes, both of them were 7.5 and 19th and 20th year. Yeah.
Very good. How much time did you spend to get a 7.5 band score on the IELTS exam?
About 1 year. Yeah, in Bukhara, like I said before, we study very hard. You know what? We studied 6 days a week.
Very good. I think you devoted yourself to get a 7.5 band score on the IELTS exam. And today you have a chance to share your experience in our studio.
Yes, not just from a student's perspective. I've been teaching more than 3 years, and I'm gonna share some insights on teachers' perspective too. And the student who took the exam too, and 3 of the insights.
We hope you will share the most essential information.
Yes, first of all, from the student's perspective, the student should not just do the homework wholeheartedly, but he should also do some fun reading for fun. It can be kind of bestseller books like Harry Potter or Alchemist or self-improvement, like I did at the time. Whenever I had some free time on just chilling out, I would love to read those kind of self-improvement books because it had me not motivation but also some insights on how to study more. Yes, and the students should also learn vocab. One of the most bad problems of the students is that they no longer learn new vocab when they are in the practice phase. They just practice, and they don't analyze the mistakes they had done, and they don't learn vocab, and they just practice, and the result will stay the same, and that's the problem. Okay.
I have a questions from reading. I mean, you have advised that they should read a lot of books besides Cambridge IELTS books or kind of practice materials books, right?
Yes.
While they are reading, should they translate into Uzbek or their mother language?
No,
or should they comprehend its meaning?
Yes, the meaning is enough. They don't have to learn every word. They don't know. They don't have to find the meaning of every word. They just try to understand the meaning in reading for fun. That's another thing. But when they are practicing, they are studying. They are improving their reading. That's another thing. They should, after they have done their practice, they have to spare another hour of analyzing and learning, analyzing their mistakes and learning the vocab and trying to understand the long and complex sentences that they didn't understand while they were practicing. And that helps much because they will stay the same if they don't do that. Yes.
Dear learners, as information, Azbek has conducting his lessons online in Productive School Education Center, and he has students who are learning English language online. Azbek, could you give more information about your online courses?
Yeah, we have been giving online lessons for nearly 3 years, and we have had many great scores on that thing. Not only IELTS, because we are mainly focused on general English now. We are trying to do it not only in productive way, but in a fun way. We have added some greatly entertaining things that students are excited about. They do the great exciting things while they are in the live lessons, maybe activities with a group or activities on their own, and video lessons, live lessons, and speaking lessons with a teacher and with a group.
Do you have any difficulties with teaching online with your students? Because some of them may be shy and some of them have a fear to speak in English, even offline courses. How do you know your students' process, students' results while you were teaching online courses?
Whenever the students listen and hear about learning online, they think about how about my discipline? Will I be able to learn in a disciplined way? How they're gonna check me, check my progress and my results? We have done a lot of things to control their progress, such as we have a support teacher who controls what students, which of the students has joined the lesson and are they doing their homework. If they are not active, we will kick out the students. We will punish them. And what's more, the support teacher also helps after the lessons whether they are understanding the program or not. While in the lessons we have a site set gives about 80 words from the stories that we have given to them, and that checks that whether the student has read the book and learned the vocab, and the site checks and it gives a leaderboard of the group mates. And what's more, after that we have a session that we just discuss the video lessons. After that, we have 3 activities. First of it is that we give 10 English questions to translate into Uzbek in order to improve their translation skills. What's more, after that, we have another 10 questions on Uzbek that they have to translate into English. And this will greatly improve their speaking and writing skills. And the third is also in Uzbek to English. And that's one of the most difficult things that they have to do, but it helps much because they make mistakes. But after they have made mistakes, they understand the mistakes they have made, and because the teacher explains the mistakes to them, and after they have learned the lessons from their mistakes, they are stronger, and they have more passionate about solving in a more correct way, and they will solve in a more correct way in reality. Yes.
Very good. Azbek, you know, most of students hurry to take IELTS courses before finishing general IELTS courses, general English IELTS courses. How do you think? Is it good for English learners or not? Because, you know, getting a high band score on the IELTS exam depends on your general English knowledge.
Yes. I have had a student that who used to study in English level, IELTS level, in other education center, learning center, and when she came to me and I have tested it, it was pre-intermediate in general English, which is the 4th level in general English I teach. She studied 2 months more in general English, and she used to have 5.5 in reading. After 2 months, she leveled up to 6.5 in just general English. General English means much. If they don't understand what they are reading, what they are listening, how they will be able to understand and solve it? Because if you only teach the techniques and methods on how to solve it, but they don't understand what they are reading, how can they solve the problem? I always say that 80% of the IELTS is general English, maybe more than that.
Yes.
Because I know a story about a girl that who took 8th band in English in IELTS. She used to learn only English, not IELTS, not for IELTS exam. She used to read books, listen audiobooks, and watch films and speak with her friends. And after just 2 weeks, maybe months before the exam, she started preparing for IELTS, and she got 8 after 1 month because she had great level of English, not IELTS.
Azbek, what kind of materials, what kind of books do you use? Do you give your students on your online general courses to make your students prepare for the IELTS courses?
IELTS courses. Yeah, I think in the IELTS, it's always said we will give some kind of Cambridge materials or Oxford materials. But what matters the most is that what we give in general English to them. Because in many learning centers, they give some kind of interesting books, but there are not many reading or listening in them. They just spend their time in entertaining way, but they don't learn English in a more productive way. And they learn about 1.5 years, but they are not able to speak in a very free way, or just they cannot read a book on their own, or they can't understand all the books on their own. But what I give to my students and what I used to do while I was preparing is that I read much and listened much in leveled stories, starter, beginner, elementary, and could you imagine? I used to read 30 pages a day. 30 pages a day. And
30 pages.
Yes, it's
in English language.
Yes, in English. Because that was about 150 words, new vocab every day. And it was possible. It took about 5 hours a day, 3 hours of reading and 1.5 hours of vocab learning. And it helped greatly in just 1 month, I learned about 4,000 words in a month, and I leveled up from elementary to upper intermediate in German English in just 1 month. And we will do it in a slower way. We just finished the students level in general English level from starter to upper intermediate in 7 months. We will use the same methods that I did in my preparation time, but we have some video lessons and other things. You know, they read 1,000 pages of reading in general English course. That's incredible. And listen more than 10 hours of listening. That's the stories, audio stories. It helps much in their translation, vocab, grammar, listening and speaking.
To improve your students' reading skills, you use lots of stories, right?
Yes.
Azbek, I should stop you here, otherwise you can share all information in our conversation. Do not hurry, you have time to conduct your lesson. And in your lesson, you can give more information about true, false, not given type of reading questions.
Thanks.
And today you will explain, you will do some analysis from Cambridge official book number 11 with our learners. Now I gladly invite you to our smartboard to conduct your lesson. I believe after your explanation, our learners will not get confused when they face true, false, not given types of reading questions.
Hello again, our viewers. We will move on to the real practice on Cambridge 11 and the passage 1, and we will solve together the true, false, not given questions. Before we start, we will have to understand the difference between yes or not given and true, false, not given, because there's a difference. They are not the same. First of all, yes or not given is that the text will contain the opinions, views, and the beliefs of the writer or other people who are mentioned. The fact is that in the passage, they may say the fact is this, but in the quote, and the writer may say, but I don't think that, I don't think like that, and the answer will be according to the opinion of the writer, not the fact itself. Okay, but in the true, false, not given, you will look at the overall passage, and you may take the facts from not maybe not the writer itself. Okay, so you will have to look at the factual information that is given on the passage itself. Okay, you should know, you should read carefully what type of question you are solving. Okay, there are 3 options, and we will clarify what type of answer we will give to the question. True is that you can find this information in the passage, and it agrees with the statement. It's obvious. And it shouldn't be partly true. It have to be truly true, 100% true. Okay. The false option you may give is that the passage and the statement have different information. The passage shows that the statement is wrong. It contains a mistake, which you know, because the passage shows us what it should be, and they must contradict each other. Okay, it may be factual or opinion. Okay, not given, which is some kind of confusing thing for most of the students. It's that this means you can't find all the information in the passage. The passage does not contain enough information to know if it is true or false. In order to confuse you, they will give some kind of information in the question, and there will be some kind of keywords in the passage itself, and you will think that there are some kind of words, there are some kind of opinions in the question, and I may take false because there's no matching. This way you should know that false means wholly contradicting something, and not given is not, the opinion is not given itself. not the part of it. Okay, let's start really practicing the questions, and the passage is that the crop growing skyscrapers from Cambridge 11 and the passage 1. Okay, the questions are those, and the eighth question is that methods for predicting the Earth's population has recently changed. Okay, we will highlight the keywords: methods, predict, population, recently, and changed. I will highlight the recently too because it's a pronoun. Okay, and we have 5 keywords, and we have understood the meaning, and we will move on to the passage itself. Okay. In the passage it says, applying the most conservative estimates to the current demographic trends, the human population will increase by about 3 billion people by then. And the passage says they have applied some methods, but they are only talking about their method of predicting the future, not about all the general methods that the scientists or the researchers are using. He is only talking about himself, so we cannot say that all methods of researching or predicting the human population have changed. We cannot say that. That's his method, and the question says the overall thing. So that's why what we will answer, not given, not false, because if it would be false, there would be some kind of passage that the general method for predicting the population haven't changed for many years, or we have been using the old methods of predicting the future demographic trends. So it isn't saying that. Okay, so we will go for not given. Okay, the answer for the 8th question is that not given. We can just write an NG. That's possible for writing in the exam itself too. Okay, the next question is that humans are responsible for some of the destruction, and some should be highlighted, for food producing land, and we have 5 highlights too, and we will move to the passage. Okay, we will understand the question. Human beings are responsible for some of the destruction to food producing land. Okay, the answer is here in the third paragraph and the third line. Along the way, we despoiled means spoiling something, making something bad. Okay, we despoiled most of the land. We worked land. Do you remember the keywords that we highlighted? Okay, we work it, often turning verdant, something redundant. Okay, that's something unuseful for us, and that's just here, and we can confidently say that that's true. Okay, the answer for the 9th question is that true. This question. The next question: the crops produced in vertical farms will depend on the season. The crops in the vertical farms, that's the topic of our passage, and that will depend on the season, maybe the spring or the summer. So the keyword may be the season and the vertical farms. Okay, the answer is here. The supporters of vertical farming claim many potential advantages for the system. For instance, crops would be produced all year round. That's easily true. Okay. The next question: some damage to the food crops is caused by climate change. Some damage and food crops is caused by climate change. To my surprise, the answer is not in the order that's not usual in the Cambridge passage, because we would just look for after the answer of the 10th question, but it's just above the 10th question, so it's not in the usual way of the Cambridge. It may happen sometimes. So the some damage to food crops is in climate change. We will move to the passage, and the answer is here. Massive floods, long droughts, and the hurricanes and the very severe monsoons take their toll. Take their toll means to make a problem, okay? To make a problem each year, destroying millions of tons of valuable crops, okay? And that's a fact. That's 100 match the meaning that we saw in the question. So the answer is true. The next question is that fertilizers will be needed for certain crops in vertical farms. Certain crops. The answer is here. The answer is here. All the food could be grown organically, eliminating, destroying, removing the need for herbicides, pesticides, and the fertilizers. We are removing the fertilizers, and the question is that will we need it? Okay, we don't need it, so the answer is false. Vertical farming, the next question is that vertical farming will make plants less likely to be affected by the infectious, contagious diseases. Okay, the answer is right here after the previous answer. The system would greatly reduce the incidence of many infectious diseases that are required as an agricultural interface. That's 100% match, and we can confidently say that that is true. Okay, the viewers, do you think that I have solved all the questions correct? No. I have made a deliberate mistake for you to show you that you should be extremely careful on the key words, okay? In the question, I said it will depend on the season. Maybe it can be repeated only on maybe spring or the summer, and it can rest on maybe winter. It's not all year round. And if you remember, in the passage, I highlighted the all year round words, okay, and phrase, and it's what you know what it means. It can be repeated on the winter or the autumn, and it doesn't depend on the season. So you should be careful on what you are answering. Okay, we will correct the mistake, and it's not true because we will not depend on one season. We can repeat on whole year. Okay, the viewers, we have completed all the true false not given questions together, and I hope that you have understood all of them and how we got there. See you next time in the next videos, and let's learn Ielts secrets.
The key, a universal key to many.
Understandable. Creative. Effective.
Interesting. Learn the Ielts secrets with us.